Man, it's videos like this where you don't know the answers to them, and it just makes them extremely tough to do. Makes it extremely tough to shoot, and I hate doing these videos, man. I really do. Just got a job to do, though. 3, 2, and 1. What's going on? It's yours truly. Just say it with me. They call me Mr. TALIAFERRO. How's everybody doing out there? Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. I want to send a rest in peace up to Gerard Anthony Higgins. You might have known him as the artist known as Juice WRLD. We lost Juice WRLD earlier this morning. Unfortunately, 21 years of age. Just celebrated his 21st birthday, man. This dude, as young as he was, as talented as he was, only 21 years of age. Here's what I know right now, and this is according to TMZ. Was following this story, I feel like, better than anyone else as of this moment. Juice WRLD was traveling from Los Angeles, California, and he was traveling, and he ended up in Chicago. And once he got to Chicago, plane landed and everything, he did have a seizure. Now, I've seen a lot of seizures. I've heard stories about seizures a lot in my past. This one was a tad bit weird, hearing this story that Juice WRLD was bleeding from the mouth, actually was alive when he was transported to the hospital having a seizure within that Chicago airport. Excuse me. But he ended up dying on the way from that Chicago airport to the hospital. Now, here's my theory behind this, and here's just my thought process. My theory is, if you have a seizure, there are not too many places on this earth you'd rather be than an airport, right? Especially an airport like the Chicago airport, big airport. A lot of people come through every day. There are medical people on the scene. At least there are, and also there are means to get to the hospital quickly because you're so close to things. It's just, again, you'd rather not have a seizure anywhere, but if there are places you want to be, the airport will be probably one of the best places to be because you probably can get to a hospital quickly. And hell, with Juice WRLD's money, if they really needed to, they probably could fly him somewhere quickly, right? Well, here's my theory. And I want to lead with respect because we just talked about Whack 100, and I feel like he's kind of been saying some distasteful comments about someone who's no longer here in Nipsey Hussle, and I don't want to do that. But one could assume Juice WRLD at the age of 21 having a seizure, that's not normal. Especially with no one with health concerns that we know about, major health concerns that we know about. One could assume that there was some foul play involved. You know what I mean? And what I mean, it could be drug related, could have been something spiked. It could have been. There could be a lot of stuff at play here. I'm guessing a lot of people are going to go run with that Juice WRLD could have been on a bad drug or could have OD'd on a drug, right? That's all possible. We will find out more when his autopsy is done and all that. I'm not going to just take the assumption game too far here because we don't know. One could assume with the type of music he made, it's drug related. All right, and if that's the case, that doesn't make this story any easier at all. And I'll tell you why. First and foremost, we just lost a young black man. Number one, that's never gonna be easy for me. Number two, he makes music that caters to these kids. And a lot of people tell me like, yo, TALIAFERRO, this is your I told you so moment, because I'm not really on some of the rap like that, right? Like, I'm not on the Travis Scott rap like that. I'm not on the Juice WRLD rap like that. I don't think they're it's not that I don't think they're talented, but it's the music and the energy of the music. It ain't for me. Like, even looking at the videos, the energy of it ain't for me. It's devilish. It's super, super slow, super traumatic, super like dramatic as well. And I feel like it's promoting straight to these kids, do drugs to deal with your pain. And I don't believe that's the case. Juice WRLD will be most infamously known for his Lucid Dreams record, a record that took his career all type of places. This dude was actually still battling some legal suits over the Lucid Dreams record, right? Because of the sample was taken from another record, and I'm not going to get into that super deep in this video. But this dude was still battling with legal ramifications for using that sample. They kept wanting more and more from Juice WRLD. I'm guessing that's a pretty stressful thing. But Juice WRLD, in spite of that, was still putting out music. I just watched a video with him and NBA Youngboy a few weeks ago. I think I did a reaction to it on my YouTube. And I noticed the first thing I said about Juice WRLD, if you go watch my reaction, I was like, yo, he's put on a lot of weight. Like, was I the only one who had noticed that? Like, he had put on a lot of weight. I'd say over the last 6 to 8 months, he had just gained a lot of weight. Go look at Juice WRLD from like a year or two ago. And now he had put on, I mean, we're talking about maybe 60, 70 pounds. I don't know what personally was going on. Could one assume it was stress weight? Could one assume it was drug-related weight? Those are all possible. Was he dealing with some major health concerns behind the scenes that we didn't know about? That's possible. Not likely, because he put so much of the pain in his music. Here's what I know. Juice WRLD did like 4 or 5 billion streams on Spotify alone last year. Trust and believe that number is going to double, if not triple, next year. XXXTentacion, God rest the dead, he did 11 million streams this year. He's been gone, right? He's been gone. Hit 11 million streams this year. Juice WRLD's fan base and X's fan base, they cross paths a lot. Meaning Juice WRLD's music is going to be played over and over again. He actually had more music in the atmosphere than X. There's a fan base out here that's going to mourn Juice WRLD's loss. And if you're a youngin watching my video right now, I'm only 26. I'm not that old. I pray you don't just sit around listening to Juice WRLD music all day and night and consider doing things to yourself because of some of the music that Juice WRLD made or X made. There's a fan base out there right now that caters to this type of music. Like I said, this ain't my I told you so moment. I don't get down like that. I want people to live. But this music is not preaching life. And I'm a person that I believe energy is everything. And if you sit around putting negative energy in the atmosphere all day, talking about death in your music, I mean, dude's got a record, that Legends record, and he's pretty much saying 27 years of age? Man, we barely make it past 21 where I'm from. And he ain't talking about being in the streets. Bruh's talking about just dealing with pain and stuff like that. He's talking about drugs. Like, this is serious stuff in bruh's music. And I'm one of the people who believe, like, there are 2 types of rappers nowadays. And both are dangerous as fuck. Both are dangerous. You got some rappers, I ain't gonna even put nobody out by name, but y'all could pretty much put the names to these rappers. You got some rappers who are talking about drugs a lot, but they ain't really, and I believe this, and I've been told this behind the scenes, they don't really do the drugs like that. Then you got a whole nother group of artists who they actually talk about the drugs, but they actually bout that life for real. I feel like most of those artists are the ones coming up. They looked at these rappers as influences, as role models, but these rappers are talking about a life that they don't live. So, I mean, what do you expect is going to happen? Take that a step further. Take it a step further. I'm 26. I feel like from the beginning of rap on down to around the age group of like 25-ish, right? So I literally just make the cut point, right? I just make the cutoff. Rap had pretty much always been about the people who sold drugs, right? We were always infatuated with the dope movers, the people who sold it to the people. That's who we champion, the drug sellers. But I got 2 questions for you, or I got 2 statements for you, rather. You do realize somebody had to use those drugs that our favorite artists were selling. You do realize these kids are just listening to the cool 18, 19, 20-year-old upcoming rappers just like we used to. But their rappers are talking about using. That's the difference. So don't go judge these kids, because I don't judge them like that. I wish them nothing but the best. Don't go judge them, because they're just listening to the upcoming rapper. We did it when we was 18, 19, or shit, earlier than that. When we was 12, 13 years old, we was listening to who's the popping rapper right now, who relates to me. And I got this rapper right here, 19 years old, putting pain in his music, got a nice little trappy beat to it, sounds great, know how to relate to me, talking about some of the stuff that I could be dealing with, and he's telling me to go use drugs to cope with it. So don't go judge these kids, because they're just looking for what's the most popular thing that I want to listen to, you know, that's around the age of 18, 19, or 20, right? These kids ain't doing nothing different from what we were doing. They just listening to artists that talking about different stuff than what we were listening to. Their artists are drug abusers. We listen to more or less the drug sellers. And what's so sad and what's so tragic about all that is, this is the norm in rap today. Like, I'm not a big Travis Scott guy. I wasn't a big Juice WRLD guy. I actually listened to a little bit of Juice WRLD's music, though. The collab tape with Future. Obviously, I love Lucid Dreams. I wasn't big on his music, but every now and then he had a record or two that I liked. Right? They're making their music, and people used to call me crazy for this. Not as much now. They're making their music to cater towards kids who want to go to festivals, get high out of their mind. All races, by the way. It's not just like a black kid thing, a white kid thing. They're catering that music to drug abusers. And that's what's so dangerous and so toxic about this shit. Who did y'all think was doing these drugs that your favorite rappers was rapping about? They was saying they was moving pounds of this, pounds of that. What y'all think they was just selling it to themselves? It's a different world today. Somebody was doing these drugs. Somebody's parents was doing these drugs that your favorite rapper rapped about selling, that he got famous doing, got money to fund his rap career doing. That's what makes all this sad. Rest in peace to Juice WRLD. And let me say something about these labels too, because Juice WRLD was on Interscope, if I'm not mistaken. You labels make me sick, man. Y'all so infatuated with getting the new. Y'all sit around and let these artists on y'all labels. And be clear, there's not been a diagnostics pass seizure on Juice WRLD. We do not know what he passed of. So anything that comes from this video, if y'all feel like I'm taking it too far, give it to me. I'll take it on the chin. But be clear, you labels sit around with these artists and just throw money at them, and y'all don't throw any type of drug prevention to these artists, any type of rehabilitation to these artists, therapy to these artists. Y'all throw all this shit at them but the things that they need. You listen to this music and you just benefit off of them. Financially benefit off of them. It's sickening. You labels disgust me. Rest in peace to Gerard, man. I thank you guys so much for the time, love, and support. Again, prayers to his family. I'm frustrated, man. I'm frustrated. Rest in peace to Juice WRLD. I pray you finally get some of the answers to the questions that you had in life, because, I mean, you had a lot of them in your music. I pray you now rest peacefully. I pray you now have the comfort and peace that you needed, that you were looking for so much in your young life on earth. I pray you get it. I pray you got it now. I thank you guys so much for the time, love, support. I don't take it for granted. Salute. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids, they tuned in.
We locked in right now,
Mr. Taliaferro.
Mr. Taliaferro.
Shout out to Mr. Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr. Taliaferro TV.
Mr. Taliaferro TV.